Do 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 do. Let's check our audio. Check. Do 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 do. Nice. That sounds pretty good. Steve is here. What's up, Steve? Just getting everything set up here, and then we're going to do some putting inside with our Pels tutor. Some solid cardio content. Steve's doing some cardio. Incredible. Love to see that. Exercise is a wonderful tool, guys. I was doing some working out today myself. Set up our well stroke mat number 1. Our floor does break slightly to the left, so I've gotten lots of practice on those right edge, inside right type putts. Hey, Squirrel Sniper is here. Beautiful souls from across the pond, but under the same skies. I love that greeting. I think I tell you that every time I hear you say it, but under the same skies. It's a nice way to visualize, guys, how we are all connected as humans, right? Remember that the next time you hear people talking about marginalized groups, you know, immigrants and poor people and minorities, think to yourself, am I remembering that those are real people? Those are real human beings with fears and hopes and dreams and families? Because I don't think a lot of our current discourse does contain space for that kind of empathy. Look at that. Nice start today. Congrats, lovely milestone 5,000. Thanks so much, Squirrel Sniper. Hey, Jamin's here. What's up, my dude? Oh, just missed on the left. I'll share also with you guys an exciting update. I had a really interesting, informative call with somebody who works in the social media golf world, and they were sharing some stuff about what they've got going on and vice versa. There's a lot of overlap with the sobriety content that I make. So always fun to hear about what other people are doing and make connections in this sort of very niche big congrats on 5K. Thanks, Jamin. Squirrel Sniper says everyone deserves a chance and a better life. I agree with you, Squirrel Sniper. Well said. I think what is so discouraging to me is understanding that we have the resources to do all these things, to make sure that every person has education and healthcare and housing. We simply choose not to, right? They're not priorities for the people in charge and the people who elect them. Nice. So anytime you hear somebody say like, oh, we just don't have the money or we can't afford it, know that they are lying to you. Boom. Need another one. Steve's doing some cardio. I did some lifting earlier. Anybody else working out today? Monday's always a good day to start the week off right with some movement. Oh, barely grazed that left edge there. Yep, exactly right, Squirrel Sniper. Exactly right. Just got to follow the money. Okay, right back on track, correcting that little bit of a left miss that feels to be creeping in. Also kind of exciting, guys. Speaking of sobriety, this is a new alcohol-free beer that I'm excited to try called Electro Lime. Cerca de cerveza, which means close to beer. This is from Best Day Brewing. I imagine it's going to be, you know, like a Mexican lager Corona kind of taste. Pretty tasty. Born in Northern California. Very cool. I like the can too. Check this out. Best day yet. That's right, guys. You can only do one day at a time. Why not make today a good day? Steve says, are you planning to do more simulator work over the winter? I would definitely like to do more simulator work. I'm in search of a nearby simulator location. And by that I mean I just haven't opened my phone to Google where the nearest one is and how much it costs. Boom. I loved lime in light beers. Me too. Bud Light Lime, that was one of my favorite on the golf course beers. The first club I was a member at, they stocked those on the beverage cart that would drive around, and I could probably crush, I don't know. If I was really drinking, like if it wasn't a morning tee off, I could probably put down like 8 to 10 of those during the round alone. And I'll tell you what, guys, it actually does not help your golf at all. If there's ever a moment where you're like, maybe I'll just have a drink because I'm stressed about not playing golf effectively, poisoning your body and your brain is not going to make hand-eye coordination related tasks easier. Maybe there's a placebo effect around the anxiety and performance blocker, but you activated my Google. That's funny. Yeah, that's right, Squirrel Sniper's right. Hit that like button, guys. Just getting started in today's little practice session. Yikes. Still missing on the left here a tiny bit. I wonder if maybe I'm not 100% aimed, have this aimed where I need it to be. Hold on. Yeah, it's aimed like inside right. Okay. User error. I'm just not as good as I could be yet. What's the nocebo effect? No, tell me more about this, Squirrel Sniper. Yeah, like Jamin was saying, crazy to think we've hit that 5K subscriber mark, guys. I was just looking back at my notes from when I started the channel and the goals that I had laid out, and they were pretty simple. It was mostly around process, but one of the goals was to hopefully reach that 1,000 subscriber level by the end of my first year on YouTube, which will be coming up in January. January of this year was when we posted our first video on the channel. We could hit some putts with the claw. And to already be at 5,000 guys, you know, we're almost at 5.5 million views on the channel. I didn't think that any of these numbers were possible this early into doing this. At least not for me as a one-man show who's, you know, never done this before and learning on the fly how to edit and record videos that are, you know, usable. Gosh, you know, they're also up there. You can go back, just scroll to the bottom. There were some really less than polished videos that got posted on the channel, right? But again, that's part of the process, guys. You can't wait until you're ready. You just have to start doing something, and you're going to be bad at first. Whether it's golf, whether it's making videos on YouTube, whether it's whatever hobby or sport or passion that you're pursuing, waiting for the right moment isn't how you'll achieve the skill level that you want. Right? If you're out there saying, I want to be a good golfer, well, you know how you become a good golfer? By playing lots and lots of golf. And you're going to be terrible at first. You're going to hit it all over the place. You're not going to know how to score. You're not going to know how to putt. That's okay. We all have to fail in order to continue growing and achieving more and more success. Right? If you think about success as some number of failures away, it's much easier to continue pressing and pushing when you face that adversity or negative feedback. Because it's going to happen. There's going to be setbacks. Just like if you watch a stock chart or any growth over a period of time, it's not a straight line up and to the right. It's jagged. It goes up and down. It inches its way. Sometimes for long periods, it's flat to down, right? But over a long enough horizon, if you continue working, that number will, you know, you will see that success and progress. Okay, really liking how those putts are rolling now. The nocebo effect is a negative outcome caused solely by a person's negative expectations or belief. Interesting. Yeah, I think that is very true. Right, guys? Your mind is such a powerful tool. You have to be able to envision yourself achieving the thing that you dream of. What does it look like? What does your day-to-day feel like? How would you spend your time? Because that's how you, once you have the vision of it and you can see it, then you know the steps that have to be taken to get there. You become what you think. Well said, Squirrel Sniper. Oh, we were going to hit some claw putts. Let's see how the claw does. Motzi ATL requested some claw putts. Oh, it feels weird after putting left-hand low for so long. Boom! Success on the first one. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure the claw is for me forever, but JW said good advice. Thanks, bro. Aura Farmer said nice room. Thank you very much. Try one more with the claw before we go back to your regularly scheduled programming. First step to manifestation, exactly. Matt said, what's up? What's up, Matt? Appreciate you stopping by to say hi. Just barely missing on that left side. Adam said, what's going on, Chief? Always good to see you live on YouTube. Thanks very much. Keeps my own golf goals motivated to practice more. Hope the golf's going good. Thanks so much, Adam. I appreciate you popping in to say hello. It is starting to get cold. It was just barely above freezing this morning here in the Northeast. So hard to know how much more outside golf we're going to have this season. Although in this new location, I'm told that there are courses that will stay open year-round. So potentially we could get some real golf sicko content, right? If it's like 37 degrees and the course is open and I get out and play. Because like Steve was saying, I am going to have to find a simulator to continue doing some live streams and finding a way to practice over the winter. I'm optimistic that my outdoor setup might be capable of doing some winter work. And by that I mean, can I keep enough snow off of it and keep it somehow warm enough for me to stand out there in the freezing cold and hit shots in the net? Or a farmer said you're really good. I don't know about all that, but I am trying to show what hard work and consistent effort can do. Right, if you want to see the best golf in the world, you can watch that every weekend on the PGA Tour. You're not going to find it here. The golf is decent. I'm not going to say it's bad. But I hope that my, value add or special sauce is more about perspective. I've had the opportunity to, change my life in a lot of meaningful ways, whether that was losing a bunch of weight or quitting drinking, quitting nicotine. I fixed a lot of physical issues that I've had. So golf is just a container, right, guys? I want to be able to talk about things like sobriety and mental health and going to therapy, things that are important to me, things that I think our society needs to talk about more and stigmatize less. Got to go south for some winter golf. I certainly would. I certainly would do that. Randall, did you end up getting back to scratch? No, we did not. Nope. 1.6 is where we're at now. Some of that was due to managing an injury, I think, and some of it was potentially a misallocation of how I spent the available hours that I had. I think in hindsight, I would have spent more time on my short game and my chipping than I did. But Randall, there is a good little recap that I filmed and posted up on the channel if you want to hear me just talk through the challenge a little bit. Here we go. This little putter help you or just for fun? Yeah, it definitely helps, right? I've got this gate set up here with the Pels tutor and our well stroke mat underneath, right? So as I make my strokes, I'm trying to make sure that this line on top of my putter here traces this arc line here. If we do that, the putter should come back to impact square. And we get immediate feedback of whether or not we did that with these ball bearings in the gate here. So if we don't start the ball on line, those ball bearings will let us know. Golf is a conduit for so much in life. Well said, Jamin. I totally agree. I think there's tons and tons of parallels to managing life, just like managing your round of golf. See, missed it on the left there, so it tells us you didn't do your job. You did not start that ball on line. But you're exactly right, Jamin. I think it's good to remember, just like in life, you can do everything right. You can go through your routine, evaluate the shot, the wind. You can step up to the tee, hit an amazing shot right down the fairway. Nice high draw, 300 yards, and your ball ends up in a divot. Right? That's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you do everything right and things don't go your way. But conversely, we've all had the experience of you flare one out to the right, it hits the trees, and it bounces back and ends up in the fairway somehow. And you're like, oh, that was lucky. Right? So you got to just accept the outcome. And remember, all you can do is put in your best effort back here, where you're making the swing, where you're preparing yourself to make the swing. Right? And this is just a metaphor for preparing ourselves for life. Yeah, do you want to be a superstar?
Because I'm starstruck.
You're starstruck. She's not. Oh, look at these guys. Hi, my guys. Oh, hi. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Everyone's a superstar today. Oh, yes. Oh, that's my guy. Hi. Hi. Oh, you crazy. You gonna help us play? Oh, that's almost helping. That's almost helping. You can get a hole in one? You being good for mom?
She's super nice.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh, she's like a tornado. Golf is life, absolutely. Any opinion on Arcmaster by David Lee? I'm not familiar with that one, but I'd like to learn more. Max said hi. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream today. As you can see in the title, pretty exciting. We've just hit 5,000 subscribers on the stream. Or on the channel, I should say. We also obviously post videos and shorts in addition to live streaming. But really, really grateful to all of you guys showing your support, helping us continue building this platform so that we can put this content out in front of more and more people, continue growing, like I said, this platform and spreading this message of positivity. And hopefully you guys are taking some things away from it. We've had some really unbelievable feedback. You know, I can remember a conversation I had with somebody who was in the stream chatting and saying, man, you know, I've heard you talk about your own drinking and I myself drink quite a bit. And then a while later they came back and said, hey, I just wanted to let you know that conversation really resonated with me and I've been sober for a couple months now. I was like, oh my God, if I'm actually having an impact in people's lives by being able to talk about this stuff and put out some relatable content around sobriety or mental health, that's all I could ever have hoped for with starting this. Right? From the first video I ever posted, I knew that obviously golf was going to be what the channel was about. But if I'm honest, I was very optimistic that some of that other stuff, the hard life stuff that I talk about openly, that would really be kind of the core of the channel and a North Star for me. And so to have that be playing out in real time and to get your feedback like that and to know that I might be helping somebody out there, it makes me emotional. It makes me excited for the future to keep doing this. I know that it's an unusual amalgamation of things, right? I'm this heavily tattooed, sober guy who, is a decent golfer. So there's a lot of stuff happening, but to get that kind of feedback was really, really special to me. So I know somebody out there is like, shut up, old man, just hit the ball into the hole. And we can do that too for you guys. Hey, thanks, Rooks. We can only do our best at things we can control. Try not to let the rest affect our outlook. Well said, Thomas. You could use a chipper for this also. I definitely could. What's for your handicap? Currently 1.6. Yeah. And you know what? It's gone up. It's been going up for a while, and that's okay. Well, it's coming back down, I should say. But it got as high as like almost 3 when we started the year around 0. Last year, we started the year at +1. But you know what, guys? These things move up and down. Handicaps are not static indicators. But I should not complain about 1.6. I know a lot of people out there would be like, I'd kill to be maybe not literally kill, hopefully, but someday would enjoy being a low single-digit index golfer. Jamin said, I got lucky and found you at the beginning of Sober October. Happy to say I don't plan on going back. Amazing, Jamin. Have you been sober for some amount of time, or you just said, hey, I'm going to do Sober October to, try and take a break, and now you're realizing, like, man, maybe I don't need to go back to drinking? In the UK, it would be around 5. You know what, Rooks? That's as good a job application for caddying as I've ever received. So, as of right now, you're the leader in the clubhouse. I shot 111 on Saturday. Is that close? Well, it depends what your goals are, right? If you shot 120 last time, then yeah, you've made a ton of progress. Shaman says, I'd kill a mosquito to be a scratch player. I probably would too, brother. Does anyone know, do mosquitoes have any... Like, are they part of a food chain? Or, like, do we actually need them for anything? Do they add any value to, like, the ecological environment? Did you always putt using reverse grip? No, I kind of have gone back and forth. I've also putted with a more traditional reverse overlap grip like this. I've tried all kinds of stuff. I've done the claw, very short amount of time. You know, regular interlock I've tried. You know, just overlap like I grip my full swings like this. You can do, but I've been a left-hand low putter for some time now. For me, it really helps level out your shoulders, right? So when I putt traditional, I tend to get a little bit like this, right? And I have a hard time hitting the center of the putter. But when I putt left-hand low, my shoulders end up much more level. And I find it easier to strike the center of the face and control my distance. So that's the reason for it. Hello from Korea. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I struggle back and forth with it. Don't normally drink in the winter and slowly pick it back up in summer. Getting too old for that roller coaster, if you know what I mean. I definitely do know what you mean, Jamin. It's never too late to start taking care of yourself. Showing yourself some self-love and appreciation. And drinking less is a great way to do that. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's maybe just the fact that it's so ingrained in our culture, but imagine for a second, Jamin, if you had told someone like, yeah, you know what, I occasionally do drugs and I sometimes, you know, stop doing drugs and then I just start doing drugs more and more. They'd be like, well, that sounds kind of strange. But because alcohol has it sort of feels like it sits in its own bucket, we don't treat it like the drug that it is, which is one that, you know, is pervasive and causes a great deal of harm. Shane says, are you going to watch Big Break when it comes out next year with Good? Absolutely I am, guys. I've actually been posting on Instagram about how excited I am for Big Break. Also, guys, if you follow me on here, you should follow me on Instagram. We should do a follower drive stream sometime. Like, you know, go follow me on Instagram. I'll do 10 push-ups or make 5 putts or something like that. It's a slow burn for sure. Rook says I also have nice hair. That's funny. Mad Dog 123 Friday. So, oh yeah, I mean, so that's way better. Hey, Jeremy's here. Slowly stopping drinking. Amazing, Jeremy. Wow, bro, I'm really proud of you for that. Quick plug, guys. If you haven't already, go check out the Soba Golf, S-O-B-A, Golf Instagram. If you are, like me, very interested in golf and sobriety, you don't even have to be sober. You can just be, you know, sober curious, interested in learning more about what it might look like to drink less. Soba is run by a guy named Corey, who's a friend of mine. Does a really, really good job putting out awesome content around sobriety and the intersection of using golf as a tool in your journey of recovery. So I'm optimistic that we'll be doing some more stuff with them soon. Brooks, we could be the tatted up guys with nice hair. It's a great combo. Well said, Brooks. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. But I think that people are willing to, share and be vulnerable because they hear me talk about it, and you realize it's sort of a requirement for connecting with other people who are going through similar things, right? It's one thing to listen and hear people and say, okay, that sounds a lot like what I'm doing. But when you have to articulate, by writing it or saying it, like, this is what I'm experiencing and what I'm feeling and going through, that's how we connect with other people, is by being vulnerable and expressing, the emotions that we experience. Because that's how we empathize with people and understand, like, oh, I felt that way too, right? And for some reason, culturally, we've all decided, especially for men, that that's not cool, right? It's not cool to be emotional or to really want to try for things or to be upset when bad things happen. And I think, again, this is why I want to talk about these things. It's normal to feel sad when bad things happen or to be really excited when you meet a new goal. And it's cool to care about other people, right? So I think we can slowly start to shift some of this, right? By just talking about it. It's just, you have to talk about it. These are things that people experience, whether it's anxiety and depression, substance abuse. Nobody that I know of can say, oh, I don't know somebody who's gone through any of those things, right? They are normal human parts of being a human. And if we don't talk about them, they will continue to be stigmatized, and people will continue to suffer by, feeling alone, from not seeking help because they think it's, will make them weak, or any of this stuff, these stigmas that we've placed on these issues. And I think they're really harmful. Let's go. 3 pars, few bogeys, just need to conquer the bad holes. Exactly. Transparency is the greatest form of support. Well said, Rooks. Appreciate you and the continued content. You and the fam have me trying to change for the better. 44 years young and all about to change. Jeremy, it's never too late, right? The version that you guys see right now, the, sober guy who's, reasonably well managing his mental health stuff, and is in decent shape, not overweight. That version of me didn't exist 5 years ago, 6 years ago, right? So Jeremy, you'll look back and say, wow, remember when I was 44 and all these things were different, right? That's just me with a different number. But the biggest thing, the thing you have to do is just start. Just take a single step, right? For me, I actually started with my weight first. I didn't stop drinking until I lost, 60 or 70 pounds. I was still drinking through that experience. And that came later. But you just have to start. That's the hardest part. Just take that first step. No, we just missed it. Gosh. This is definitely a comfortable space. Used to attend meetings, and this brings me back to that brotherhood type of feeling. Wow, that means a lot you would say that, Jamin. And I'm glad you say that because I don't have that experience. I've been to one sort of informal, a bunch of sober guys hanging out on a Zoom call sort of meeting, but I don't have any experience with traditional AA or those sorts of meetings. But that is what I hope that you would feel, right? Is that sort of communal, like, hey, we're all in this together type of environment. And like I was saying a second ago, I think that's why people feel, comfortable being vulnerable, especially in my comments and on my live stream, because that's the kind of space that I'm trying to create, right? There's no tolerance for nonsense or trolls. I really think that together we can all help make things a little easier, share our communal knowledge, right? That's what wisdom is. It's, hey, I, John, went through these things. I can tell you about them. I can share some insights, some things that helped me along the way because I've already been through it. I've already done it, right? I don't need to lose 70 pounds again. I already did it once. I don't need to quit drinking again. I've done it. But if I can share some things to make it easier for somebody else out there, like, hey, this might work for you. This worked for me. Or be aware of these pitfalls, things that could go wrong. That's what wisdom is me being able to share those insights to somebody who hasn't gone through yet, or maybe they're right in the middle of it. Hey, Adam's here from the UK. I appreciate that. Firefighter of 12 years. I've seen the worst. My older brother's in rehab for the 3rd time. All that to say, I'm here for anyone. Thank you very much, Rooks. I appreciate you saying that. I hope that... I wish your brother well on his journey. Jamin, speaking of knowledge and wisdom, where's Paul from Scotland? Oh, I don't know where Paul is. He is usually quite a regular participant in the live streams, but it makes me happy that you guys are building connections even amongst other live stream viewers. Everything okay?
Yeah.
Oh, the dogs. I'm 31, Shane. The dogs are wearing jackets. It's cold outside. Go play outside. Oh, I see what you're responding to now. Yeah, it's cold. You gotta go out and wear a coat. You gotta go out and wear a coat. Oh, kissing. Oh, kissing. Oh. Hi. Hi, Miss Lady. Everybody say hi to Miss Lily. Oh, big shake. Big shake. You can't come back from more kisses. Oh, more kissing. More kissing. She is a Labrador Retriever mix. Rescue girl from Arkansas. We got her when she was maybe 10 weeks old. You were just a tiny little thing. Yes, you were. You were like this big. He says, I'm all grown up and now I'm 75 pounds. And nobody tells me what to do. Right? Oh. She says, yeah. Yeah. Are you a superstar in the stream? Say, I'm the biggest superstar there was. You want to dance? You want to dance? We can dance. You gonna help me practice? You gonna help practice? Oh, it says no, I just love to kiss everything. Britt wants to know what putting mat I have. So this is a well-stroke mat with a Pels tutor on top of it. This is just a cheap ball return from the internet. You can find those pretty much anywhere. But this is where the magic happens. To have the arc trainer underneath with the Pels tutor giving me feedback about start line. That's the magic right there, guys. The dogs, your kids look just like you. That's funny. Does she bark with a southern accent? Not that I've ever heard. She does have a some amount of coonhound in her. So occasionally when she, hears people coming or she gets excited that we're coming home, instead of her normal bark, she'll do this like really guttural, like whoo, like coonhound sort of bark. I'm impressed you guys were able to get me to do that live on the stream. Big dog zoomies equals RIP house. Totally. Yeah, it's their house. We're just living in it, right? Let's go right down Broadway. I'm in Georgia. My dogs bark so redneck too. That's funny. What's the small tailor-made set at the back? Oh, this is just a den caddy. This one? This is just like a miniature bag. There's a foam roller in it at the minute. Some golf stuff. And keep all my extra shag balls in here. So there's probably like 60 to 80 golf balls in there. And sometimes I'll bring that out to the chipping green, just pour out like 50 golf balls, chip them all. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. 10 out of 10 howl. I'll take it. Also, guys, YouTube wants me to remind you that we have this thing called memberships now. So if you want to become a member of the channel, you have that option. We can talk more about that if people are interested and see. I know. That's good practice for distractions, right? Under pressure. If you can make putts with a dog licking you, you can probably make them under normal circumstances. You know, we might do like members only live streams with some cool content. You know, special behind the scenes videos and that sort of content. So if we end up getting any traction with that on the membership side, then keep an eye out for more content there. I love the bag. It looks so cute. I'd make a bar stool out of it. That's funny. Fun putting drill. Got a cheap left-hand putter and allow your putting stroke to feel neutral. Works well with left hand. Oh, interesting. Des, what do you think of Joe Mayo's chipping theory? I love it, for one. I think it makes a ton of sense to me in all the time I've spent chipping golf balls and practicing. And for those of you who are maybe less intimately in the golf instruction world, Joe Mayo preaches, he's the one who taught Victor Hovland how to chip. If you remember when Victor Hovland first came out on tour, he was pretty dreadful around the greens. And Joe Mayo was able to get him to where he's actually really good now, chipping the ball. And he did that by getting Victor to be a lot steeper into impact, right? So hitting down on it more. Watermelon will turn that bag into a flamethrower. That's funny. He just did one. You missed it. I know. That's actually the first and only successful backflip. And you missed it, dead inside. Sorry, bro. The bad news is that there are no more backflips coming. Because as soon as you go for the second one, that's when the ambulance comes. That would be a funny way. I've never had a video go viral, right? We've had, a lot of views on shorts and things like that, but not like truly viral with millions of views. I am so confident that if I got up here and tried a backflip and injured myself while live streaming, that would be the thing that would go viral. Am I willing to do that? No. No, I'm not. But it definitely would. I mean, man who's never done a backflip hurts himself attempting a backflip. That's like Internet 1.0 gold right there. Hey, Oyson's here. I've been trying it lately. It's definitely more consistent from Des. That's good feedback. Hi. Hi, you. Yeah, what are you doing? That's not helping us practice. No, it's not. No, it's not. Ah. Man, I'm going to have to stretch for a second here. Reverse grip. Exactly right, Thomas. This is what we call left hand low in the biz. Do that to level out your shoulders as you're putting. What exactly is the male chipping theory? I'm not sure. Oh, Mayo. Joe Mayo is his name, Shane. Beats a Florida man headline every time. That's awesome. I do love me some Florida man headlines. But I think it was more disconcerting for me to learn that that's not because crazy stuff happens in Florida, although crazy stuff does happen in Florida. That's more because Florida has very unique laws around releasing information about cases. So instead of like man arrested for crazy encounter, it would be like man arrested for holding an alligator up to a cashier hostage, right? Like, they tell you what's actually happening. So you get the crazy headlines. But I think my understanding basically is that Florida doesn't have that much more super crazy stuff happening than other parts of the country. They just don't make headlines about it. Hey, Joshua's here. Totally, Rooks. Well said. Predator's here at 3 a.m. from India. Incredible. Welcome to the stream, my Indian friend. I was talking about this a moment ago, guys, but one of my favorite parts about doing this is that international aspect. I love traveling. My wife and I have been to every continent except Australia, and lots of countries. And it is one of the things that radicalized me the most, right? Just when you travel the world and you see that people are just people everywhere. People just want to have security and safety for their family, food and some education for their kids. People are just people. And having the opportunity to do this with the internet and getting viewers from all across the world is one of my favorite parts about doing this. We have moderators from Scotland and all over the place. We have viewers from every continent except for Antarctica. I don't think we've ever had any penguins tune in, as cool as that would be, given how cute they are. Come up on 20 likes on the stream, guys. Smash that like button if you are so inclined. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for me. It really does help us out. We've got 10K in sight now. Now that we're on the other side of 5. Feels like kind of the next one that we would, be working towards and acknowledge and be excited about. Do you have kids? I do not have kids. You doing Rex Kwon Do? Whoa. Oh, Taekwondo. That's cool, Joshua. Just trying to build that muscle memory, right? How do I deliver this club face back square? Start the ball on my intended line. We're at a 1 right now, Iverton. You were talking about staying on your left foot when you're chipping as a right-handed golfer. Yes, exactly. Am I Indian? I am not Indian. Thank you for asking, though. Weird question, is that a Patch Adams? What's Patch Adams? Should I know what that is? Now I'm embarrassed. Is an American physician, comedian, and social activist known for using humor and compassion in healthcare. James is here. Hello, James. That's funny. Yeah, Shane, exactly right. So when we're talking about chipping, if you're ever uncomfortable or not quite sure about hitting a certain shot, just making sure that you keep that weight on the left side is likely going to help, right? Keep that low point where it needs to be. Your picture behind you. Oh, this one down here? Jamin? This is Roger Goodell as a clown. This is from a Patriots football game that I went to. They were handing these towels out to protest the suspension of Tom Brady for Deflategate, I'm pretty sure. That was when those Barstool guys got arrested at NFL headquarters. So I was at that game and decided to frame the towel and the ticket from the game. There you go, September 7th, 2017, Gillette Stadium. Yeah, not a lot of Roger Goodell fans in these parts. Starring Robin Williams. Short chips feel like you have your weight on your left foot. Practice swings. Yep, exactly right, Rooks. See, Rooks knows his stuff, guys. Jamin, I'm still thinking about how you were hoping that Paul would be in here. That was so adorable. And I love that our stream chatters are now making friends and hoping to see other people in here. That's awesome. Hey, Tyneside is here. What's up? That's when he got banned for cheating, right? I think that was pretty well proven that there was not tampering happening.
Are you sure?
There was a child here that did a ideal gas law experiment and showed that given the conditions the footballs were in, that they very easily could have acquired those conditions without any intentional manipulation. Plus, guys, tell me, if the official statement says that the organization, the team, didn't know anything about this, and that it's Brady and the coaching staff, they were fined and suspended, why are you taking draft picks from the team? You just said that the team didn't know about it. So you're going to punish, collective punishment? That's a war crime. But we're going to do it to the New England Patriots? Come on now.
You need to settle down.
Roger Goodell is a war criminal.
Just settle down.
Oh, hello. I know, you don't like him either. I know. Yeah.
Just out on his Steelers fan.
Rook says, I'm a 3. I'll pass on any and everything I've learned. Amazing. Woke Whale, time for a job and to remove tattoos. Well, I can definitely promise you, having done lots of tattoo removal in order to have things covered up, I will not be removing my tattoos because that shit sucks. I would rather get tattooed for 10 hours than get tattoo removal for 10 minutes. What about a job? Oh, we're doing great there too. I actually have been working part-time for a decent amount of time now because I did so well at my last job. So we're doing great, but I do appreciate your concern. And also, why are they mutually exclusive? You can't have a job and hit putts in your office at 5 in the afternoon. It is hard for some people to imagine a world where somebody who looks like me, covered in tattoos, could just also be like a normal human with a job and a family. And so maybe by seeing people like me, you'll realize that those things can be true. Nice. Which game is best, PUBG or Free Fire? I've never played either of them. What's your handicap? Around 1 right now? I think we're at 1.6. Just got to put it all together for a few rounds. We'll be right back to 0 where we were to start the year. Feel pretty good about that. There we go. Nice clean run through there. You're a +8 at the moment. +8 seems like you should probably be playing on TV. Nothing wrong with tats, just not my thing. Some are really amazing. I like that perspective, Mad Dog. I think more people need that perspective to just say, hey, that's not for me. I maybe don't agree with it, but I think that people should be allowed to do it. Instead of, where I think a lot of people's opinions and discourse now lands is like, I think this thing should be a certain way, so it has to be that way for everyone, right? And that's not a way to have a productive, progressive society. Never judge a book by its cover. Well said, Shane. Francisco says, I'm a 7, played like crap yesterday. Oh, 8 to 9 over, so you just say 8. In golf, it's weird. The system, we say, if you're a plus handicap, that means you're better than 0. And if you're just an 8 handicap, that means you're probably 8 over par, right? It's also not a perfect correlation that way. Also, guys, I've already shown you, but we got some new viewers. Check out this cool non-alcoholic beer can from Best Day Brewing. This is a very tasty Mexican-inspired lager, like a Corona almost. Pretty cool. I was just checking. I'm coming up on, it'll be 5 years of sobriety early next year. So that's pretty crazy to think about, having gone 5 years since my last drink. Francisco needs to hit the range this week. Well said, Tyneside. It is certainly a fascinating art form, in my opinion, to put art on a living, moving canvas, and understanding that art is going to change over time because it's on a living thing, and designing that, putting that in the design of the tattoos and how they're applied. I think that's a great perspective, Tyneside. Again, Mad Dog, with the face tats, I wouldn't make that choice for myself, I don't think, but I don't begrudge other people who do. Oh, Tyneside is a graphic designer. Very cool. Where is it brewed? This says born in Northern California. I wanted to make sure I got that right. Brewed and packaged by Best Day Brewing, Sausalito, California. What made you want to get sober? I realized, I tell people I'm a retired professional when it comes to drinking. I was a really good drinker. And it was just getting to a point where I felt like I couldn't quite keep everything together. If you look from the outside, I had a great job, great place to live, all the outward signs of success, right? But I was just drinking more and more, really kind of self-medicating in that way. And honestly, I decided after a long bender, I went on a golf trip and I was just, super hungover the last day, did not have a good time. Getting sick on the, still in the back 9, right? I was really, really hungover. And I remember being in the airport being I need to see if I can make it 30 days. Can I go 30 days and just a little reset, not drink for a month? And about 2 weeks in, I was I'm never going back. I'm just not. If this is how good I can feel and my body and my brain can work this way without alcohol, I'm just not going back. And I never look back. I had, I was very lucky in a lot of ways because, and this is why I always tell people, if you're drinking a lot and you're considering stopping, you should talk to your doctor, because there can be health implications for your body to stop drinking, namely seizures. If you go from putting a lot of alcohol into your body to none, you can have pretty intense seizures. So please talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert, but I was very lucky that, I could have had some of those side effects from just quitting cold turkey, given the volume of alcohol that I was drinking. And I didn't, so I feel very fortunate because I didn't have that information at the time. Remember, guys, this is what I was saying earlier. There are things I know now that I didn't know at the time that could have had a big impact on my life. And I'm glad they didn't. But if I tell you now ahead of time, well, you can't say you didn't know. You can still make the choice. I can't make the choices for you. But if you hear this and you say, oh, I'm interested in drinking less, maybe I will call my doctor. And I don't have to be ashamed about this. This is a health decision that I'm trying to make for myself. And so, keep that in mind. But yeah, it's a great question, Randall. And honestly, the honest answer is I think I knew for a long time that I, wasn't good at controlling how much I drank. And I was drinking more and more, but it's really hard to get yourself out of habits and routines. And so I think that hard reset for me really made a big difference. How long have you played golf? About 20 years. Different people, but still cool. Well said, Tyneside, about the graffiti. Different generations always have different opinions, totally. How do you align putts? I use this line on the top of the putter, but I set the ball down on, just the blank spot of the ball, or, the logo up maybe. And I just practiced and learned over time how to, aim, right? What I like to do is set the putter first. So say I'm going to aim this putt at the right edge of the hole, right? I would set my putter in and say, okay, that's about, where I think I want it aimed, out of that right edge. And then I step into the putt and make my stance. If you do it the other way, sometimes it can really mess with your alignment. Hey, DJ's here. Christian, love the stub bag in the background. Oh, the Den Caddy. Yeah, these are great. Big fan of those. Oh, yeah, I started playing golf seriously like in high school. When I started playing like on the varsity golf team and then playing in college. I was definitely later to golf. I played other sports like hockey and baseball growing up. But I do think that playing those sports gave me the athletic foundation and the hand-eye coordination to pick up golf pretty quickly, as well as how do you generate speed, right? There's a lot of similarities to moving your body to hit a baseball and hit it far as to hitting a golf ball. Do you guys do Movember in America? Yes, we definitely do. Mind your mental health when you quit. It will be an emotional roller coaster for some. Well said, Jamin. Totally. You gotta, be aware of these things, and it's not, you got to remember, as a product, alcohol is very good at doing what it's supposed to do. If you said, hey, I don't want to feel my emotions and, have to deal with the things that are causing me stress or trauma, boy, do I have a great product for you. It's everywhere. It's really cheap. It's socially acceptable to use, even in public. Boom, alcohol. So you got to find something else to fill that void, because like I said, it is an effective way of treating those things. That doesn't mean it's a good one or one that where the negative side effects don't outweigh the positives, but yes, certainly Jamin is right. You need to be aware of your mental health at all times, but especially if you're making a big life change like that, deciding to stop drinking or using. Same with nicotine, right? People can have really intense mental health or, side effects from removing nicotine from their daily lives. Get growing your mows for your bros. Should we do Movember, guys? I could just shave off the rest. Shave off the beard, keep the stash. Mows for the bros. I like that. Did you play baseball? Yes, I did. Rooks is down to clown with Movember. Hell yeah, guys. All right, so really happy with where the stroke is at. Navigating the Pels tutor with a very high degree of success. So what I'm going to do now is maybe just work on some more fundamentals. We'll take a step closer, maybe like 3 feet, and just hit, some single-handed putts, right? We can hit some with just the right hand. And just the left hand as well. taking that. Yeah. Down to clown. Love it. As long as you make a short and tell my wife we're all sorry in advance for the mustache. Well, you have to do the same, Rooks. You can make one and send it to my wife because she will... Well, I'm sure she would be supportive of the mission. I'm confident that her preference would be no mustache, all things equal. Oh, hello, Miss Lady. Hello. You come to say hi? You look so cute with your coat on today. Yeah. I know, it's cold out there for a girl. Cold out there. Yeah. November is International Men's Month. Well said, Alejandro. It is. I think one of the original causes was also for prostate cancer, right? Why does my flag tattoo only have 9 stars? Great question, Evil Rick. Well, when I first got it, it did have 50 stars, and they were all teeny tiny, and after about 6 months, they all blended together, and it looked pretty terrible. So, the end result of that is having it redone to make it a little more appealing, is we ended up with some bigger stars that are smaller in number. But interestingly, I would also tell you that there was a version of me that only had that one tattoo on my entire body. Was that square American flag. And it was not a good look. But you know what, guys? I was 19 years old, and legally, I was allowed to get a tattoo, so I did. And I'll tell you guys also, it was not the only tattoo. I've also had this entire arm from my elbow up has been covered up, been lasered a bunch, and then covered up. You'd be hard pressed to know now, but yeah. At what point do you think I should go from a box set to getting fitted or upgraded clubs to improve my game? I think when you're consistently shooting in the 90s, right? If you can, if you're like a 15 handicap and you can break 100 pretty consistently, you're hitting solid shots, you're getting better, your contact is improving. I think that's about the time I would think about maybe going for a fitting, getting some upgraded equipment. Nice. Alejandro says, men's health overall, prostate cancer is just a big killer of men. Okay, good to know. International Men's Month. We can make some Movember content. That would be fun. Oh, almost missed that one. I give you some British slang in return. Oh, please, Tyneside, hit me with it. I need to know all the British slang. My wife will be thrilled about this. I would say when your contact is consistent, you're hitting the ball too high or spinning excessively. Well said, Rooks. Yeah, if you feel like you're hitting good shots that aren't performing the way you'd expect them to, which maybe is hard as a beginner to know. Well said, Rooks. Another advice I would give you, Randall, is when you do go for a fitting, don't be afraid to speak up, to say, hey, this doesn't feel the way I want it to, right? I wish this shaft felt, softer or stiffer. I wish I could feel the club head more. Like there are things that you can express to the fitter that will make their job easier. And don't be afraid to say them, to express how you're feeling. It will only make the entire experience more valuable. It's more Geordie, Newcastle upon Tyne, northeastern England slang. Oh, that's fine. It's in rhyme to, ain't it? Like bees and honey for money? Oh, the English slang? I think some of it probably is. I'm not sure. Tyneside will tell us. I like knackered. Let's say like somebody's really drunk. I think I've heard British people say that. I think the loo is funny because it just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why the toilet's called the loo. Taking the piss is an excellent one. trying to think of some others that I can come up with. Knackered means really tired. Oh, okay, so maybe that's been lost in translation to America. Why are we talking about the loo? Well said, Liam. We're talking about British slang with Tyneside. He's picking up on some American slang and sharing some of his. Waffling on. Hey, Kerwin's here. What's up, Kerwin? Only invested in wedges so far just because I'm most comfortable there. Yeah, I think it's totally fine, Randall. Also, remember, you can build your equipment piece by piece. You don't have to go out and spend tons of money getting all brand new stuff all at once. You can just say, like you just did, I'm going to get some wedges. Now maybe I'll get some irons. Then I'll maybe do a driver or a putter. You can put these things together over time and at a pace that works for you. Absolutely mortal means drunk. Okay. Biscuits, trolley, loo, knuckle. What's knuckle dusters? Car park is a good one. I got my whole set for 20 bucks at a rummage sale. That's amazing. Hey, Harp Dog is here. What's up, Harp Dog? Gobsmacked. That's a good one. Oh, brass knuckles. Interesting. Bruv. All right, let's do some left-hand putts. Faffing about. That can't be a real thing. Well, in what context would you say somebody's faffing about? Cobra S2 driver. Oh, that's cool. I used to have that driver. Back in high school, I remember. The S2. Trainers is sneakers. Oh, I knew that one. Start to track your yardages and identify yardage gaps. That's a good way to build a set. Well said, Rooks. That's exactly right. That's exactly what, a set of clubs is for. It's to cover those gaps and offer you different distances you can hit the ball as well as, shots. Right? You might be able to hit the same distance with a 2-iron and a 5-wood, but you'll hit different shots with them. The goal is not to say, "Oh, I got 14 clubs now." Or, I have a 4-through pitching wedge. Well, that's not the point. The point is to be able to cover different distances, right? That's why in my bag right now, I have a 5-iron and a 5 hybrid. Boom. John Daly special, exactly. It's like saying that you're messing around. Oh, okay. Good to know. Daft is a good one. I like that. Hey, Jose Manuel is here. Greetings from the Dominican Republic. Mucho gusto, amigo.
Muy bien.
Si quieres, yo puedo hablar poquito de español contigo, pero para mí es difícil practicar cada día porque no tengo amigos que hablan español. Y para mí mi capacidad de hablar es mejor que escuchar y entender. Ay, mi amor. Mi amor. Bro is better than me at my own language. That's funny. The kingpin of English words. I'm excited to hear this one. Liam, es porque yo he estudiado... Oh, that was terrible. Estudiado en España. En Sevilla, al sur de España? I play a 50, 54, 58. Have nothing in my 5-wood spot. Yardage gapping makes a huge difference in your bag makeup. Totally. That's why you see, I saw, I think it was Christo Lamprecht, that very tall professional golfer. He plays like 2 drivers and 5 wedges in his bag. Because he hits it a mile, so he needs more shots off the tee, and he has a bunch of wedges all the time. So again, guys, it does not have to be uniform or the same as what everybody else is doing. You're allowed to set up your golf bag the way that works best for you to try and get the ball in the hole. Boom. My yardage gaps can be wild sometimes. No, that's the Aussies' favorite word. 33 plus 35. 68. Were you trying to go for a 6-7 joke? You were, and you just got the wrong number, Park. Oh, bro, you were so close. The word is wanker. I got a feeling our bags are similar. That's awesome. Whew. Let's go. I could totally tell you studied in Spain. I played golf with a couple guys from the Dominican this past week, and we were talking a little Spanish, and they said the same thing. They actually asked if I was from Spain. I said, nope, I'm from here. I just, I don't know, languages came easily to me. I picked up Spanish pretty easily, from studying it in school, and then when I went to Spain, I think it just really hammered that, at least my speaking ability. Like I was saying, it's much harder for me to understand what people are saying to me, especially with slang and talking quickly, because I don't hear it all the time. But for the most part, I can, formulate sentences and people understand what I'm saying. And I do wish that I worked harder at maintaining the truly fluent nature of my ability like it used to be, right? When I was, speaking it every single day in Spain, felt very confident, saying I was fluent in 2 languages. Where in Spain? Sevilla. Which is a beautiful, beautiful city in the south of Spain, guys. I highly, highly recommend it. If you're in that part of the world, to check out Sevilla. It has beautiful weather, amazing food. Absolutely boiling. Yeah, it definitely gets warm. I was there in July and it was like 100 degrees every day. But I didn't care. Hey, Sean is here. Hope you're having a good Monday, my dude. Spain is an amazing country. I agree with you, Tyneside. Your Spanish sounds very Castilian. That makes sense to me. In Europe meters, 100 is what? Let's find out. Hey, Stinka's here. 100 F to C. 38 Celsius. Always makes me laugh whenever Americans say a temperature. I'm like, oh my God, how hot? Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, imagine like today I would have been complaining that it was in the mid 30s. You'd be like, what? It's hot. Like, no, that's cold, bro. Cold. Americans build different. Yeah, I don't know if I would say better. Cut the most strokes inside of 125 in short game. Have your wedges complement your swing and play type. Well said, Rooks. Think about it, guys. You don't hit a bunch of 7-irons throughout your round. Maybe par 3s or, if you miss hit your drive or something. But, if you hit a solid tee shot, you're often hitting a shot between like 80 and 150 yards. So that's usually some sort of wedge, maybe up to like an 8 or a 9-iron. But practice inside of 150 and you will really, really see your score start to drop. Rooks is completely right. The more greens you hit, the lower your scores are going to be. And then ultimately, you're going to learn how to start making those shots turn into birdie opportunities, right? Hitting it inside of 15 feet. I'm looking at a driver shaft upgrade because my swing speed is around 105. That's a good idea. I think as you continue in your golf journey and you build your speed. Cammy says, just had my worst round today. Only been playing 4 months. Felt like I was making progress. Starting to develop a good swing in contact, but I couldn't hit a decent iron at all. Any advice? So, Cammy, I would tell you, these are days that happen. Golf is a very difficult game, and we are all going to have days where our swing isn't quite right. We're not striking the ball the way we know we can. And like any distribution, you got to remember, when you go out to play golf, you might have the best day you've ever had. That would be like your top 1%. You could also have the worst day you've ever had on the golf course, your bottom 1%, right? That's how deviations work, or distributions, right? Most of your rounds are going to end up somewhere in the middle. Some will be a little worse than average. Most of them will be pretty close to average, and some will be slightly better than average, right? But you have to be willing to accept that very worst outcome in order to get the best outcome, because you can't control the score. All you can do is hit the ball the best you can, but who knows where, the wind changes direction, or you get a bad break off of a pitch mark, or like all kinds of things happen in a round of golf. It's a random sampling of results, right? And we total it all up and we say, well, this is the score that I got. But it's not necessarily, that doesn't tell you if it was an average day or the best day you've ever had, right? So remembering that, all you can do is go play tomorrow and say, maybe that was the worst day I'm ever going to have on the golf course. Well, that means it's already happened. Today's going to be better. So hopefully that helps. And remember, the progress that you're putting in, that one round of golf doesn't say anything about the work you're putting in. I've played some pretty bad rounds recently, and I've been practicing a ton. But I know that practice is still making me better. It just hasn't manifested itself in that random sampling that is one round of golf. So if you stay consistent and you keep practicing, you will see the scores. Like, you're just sliding that distribution, right? So I know, so my worst day might be, 83. If like a bunch of really crazy things happened and I played awful and it was a hard day, right? I could shoot something in the mid 80s. But, for somebody else, that might be their current best day that they could achieve. So we're just trying to slide this distribution as we improve our skill. Lewis, so this is just about start line when we do the Pels tutor. And really just kind of that muscle memory of delivering a square face, starting the ball on line. Do you work as a golf pro? I don't work as a golf pro. However, guys, I have been considering it. I don't know if anybody else has insights that they can share, but I love golf. I love talking about it. I love playing it. I love practicing. And I think I have a pretty good ability to distill ideas and share them with people in a consumable way. And in my own life, I've had a lot of success, with like friends and family, people close to me, teaching them and getting them to improve as golfers. And while I'm in the middle of this career limbo sort of period, I have considered it. I have thought like I could become a PJ professional, start teaching lessons, and feel very fulfilled about how I'm spending my time. I don't know what that career looks like in terms of how much free time would I have, how much golf would be, involved outside of the work aspect. But I do think it's a thing that could be interesting. I could certainly keep making content about that and documenting the process, saying, at 31, I decided I wanted to be a teaching professional and work at a golf course and teach lessons. So it is something that's on my mind. I do think about it regularly. Golf is the hardest sport. I totally agree. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Cammy. That's amazing. Thanks so much. Try mid-size with 2 wraps on the bottom or a Golf Pride +4. Amazing. Do something that you like. Guys, so I will also, I'm backing you up on this, Brooks. The no taper, I did this the last time I regripped my own clubs. I started the year with these standard 1 wrap, like, you know, standard grips. And now I have jumbo grips with extra tape on the bottom hand, right, to take some of that taper out. This feels like a pencil now. I mean, I can't believe I played golf for so many years with these teeny tiny grips. I hit the ball straighter for sure. I hit the ball more consistently in terms of strike, I think. I have been a big fan of going to the bigger grips. I'm a lefty, but I catch your drift. Okay. Chefs rarely cook at home if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Cammy says, thanks, guys. I'm a beginner from Scotland. Onward we go. Amazing, Cammy. Well, I appreciate you being here. We've got lots of Scottish viewers and a couple moderators, actually, from that part of the world, which is very cool. Appreciate you subscribing, and hopefully we'll see you in another live stream. Boom. You could easily make, here in China, more if you teach children. Interesting. The home of golf. Exactly right. Chefs very rarely cook at home if you're picking up what I'm putting down. I'm not entirely sure it's a perfect analogy because I mean, maybe I wouldn't like golf as much if it was my day-to-day and I was teaching people, but I think it could dovetail really nicely with making content about golf. I think it's something I have an aptitude for already. There we go. You'll love this group of golfaholics, totally. Played in Scotland was super cool. What was your favorite place you've played? Wow, where is my favorite place I played? I think my go-to answer to this question is Cabot Cliffs up in Nova Scotia. Just because of how special the property is, right? Is all these huge cliffs, and the course is just kind of carved into the cliffside along the water. That's a really, really cool one. 7,000 USD. Okay. You're saying that per month, you're saying, Alejandro? St. Andrews and Carnoustie bucket list. Totally. Yep, agreed with that, Shane. I've actually been to St. Andrews. I was able to walk around on the golf course. I didn't know that they turn it into a park on Sundays. So people were just out there walking their dogs, going for a stroll. And I'm like, guys, this is the road hole at St. Andrews. Like, you can't just be walking your dog here down the fairway. And yet there they were. So another, I like that approach to golf that, you know, in the UK and the way it's more accessible, right? I think the US has a lot of really high caliber, but also kind of low accessibility, very stuffy sorts of clubs. Hey, Clicks, thanks for saying hi, my dude. Clicks has been here since the beginning. Fuji course in Japan for my bucket list. Amazing. Dinosaur Mountain in Arizona is fantastic. I have heard of Dinosaur Mountain. I've not been out there to play it. I played a little bit of golf in Arizona. I played Wekopa, the Saguaro course out there. It's really cool. All right, guys, we are going to wrap up here in just a minute. Hit a couple more putts. Golf is extremely accessible in Ireland. I know, I was just in Ireland, and I think if there was a country that I would move to, Ireland is very high on the list, along with Spain. Just need to keep blowing up the channel, guys. Imagine if, I'm like a year from now, we've grown this channel, this platform to 100,000 subscribers, and we're paying our bills. We're doing this, filming, editing, full time, and I can support myself and live the kind of life that I want to. I would definitely do it, right? Pick up and move, bring this platform with me, make content about golf and about sobriety, and just really take that next step. I know that's, again, I'm trying to speak it into existence to some extent. Hey, Kerwin, that's great. Liam said, we'll be there. Amazing. So yeah, guys, I think that's the dream, would be to find a place like that where I could film, whether it's here in the States or abroad, but, film 3, 4, or 5 days a week, do these live streams, hang out with you guys, talk about the things that are important to me, work with great partners and people that see the world in a similar way. Can't think of many people that deserve it more, John. Here all the way. Thanks so much, Tyneside. Can't wait to see it. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you supporting me. It's definitely not easy to keep grinding, making videos, doing this stuff day after day after day when, frankly, there's not much like financial return to it. But that's really not, I want this to be a space where people can feel comfortable hanging out and being themselves, and all that stuff will fall into place, right? I do have a mortgage I need to pay, so, have to make sure we do that. And I really don't want to go back to working, 60 hours a week and not being able to do this stuff. So I just really want to, in the next few months, keep pushing, keep grinding, see how far we can take this thing, and see if there is a path to, making this a career. Whether that's just live streaming or YouTube, I don't know what the answers are. But I do know that I feel very fulfilled when I am able to make an impact on people and share my experience and talk about these things that are important to me and get good feedback, right? It resonates with people. People say, I enjoyed what you were talking about. It just takes time, right? You got to build a platform. We're at 5,000 subscribers now. If you told me when I started, I'd be like, these people they're crushing it, right? And now you're like, okay, what's next? There's always the next thing. Pretty sure Kerwin can outdrive me. That's awesome. You can set a small camping propane heater in the corner. So Train to Maryland, I'm glad you said that, because we do have... That's awesome, William. We do have an outdoor hitting area where we do lots of live streams and do drills and share, little lessons. People say, hey, I'm struggling with a slice, so show me some drills to get better. So we do live streams in that context, which is great. Epic. I love this. I tip my hat in acknowledgement. I think you're right, Rooks. I think we can definitely get that outdoor setup to work for the winter. Right? Just get some heat going out there, maybe some lights so we can keep going when it's, dark at damn near 4 o'clock. ETM says, I've been topping the ball. Any tips? Yeah, so you got to make sure that low point isn't getting too far forward. What I would have you do is make some little half swings. Grab maybe like a 9-iron. This isn't a 9-iron, but I'm going to demonstrate, right? And just next time you're on the range practicing, swing it to your waist. And then, finish your swing at your waist on the other side. But I want you to really focus on hitting that ball first and then making a divot. Right? You want to hit ball first and then the turf. But it's going to get much easier to work on this if you slow down. What we're trying to do is move that low point for you further back, right? You're telling me my low point's way up here and the ball's back here and I'm hitting the top of it, right? If you were hitting it fat, your low point is too far behind the ball, right? If you're hitting the ground first and then the ball. What we want is that low point just in front of the golf ball. So when we're swinging down on it, we hit the ball, right, with this center part of the club, then the turf. Are they Tacomos? Would you recommend? So I am not playing the Tacomos at the moment, but I did try for the first half of this year the 301 CBs. This is a really attractive iron at address. I thought it was perfectly fine. I didn't like it as much as the blades that I put back in the bag. However, that doesn't change the fact that they're very good clubs. The price definitely can't be beat, I don't think, for the quality. Hey, Liam, thanks for being here, my guy. I will share too, guys. It is very cool for me to, see the same names popping up time after time on these live streams. You guys are starting to interact and share knowledge and chat and get to know each other. That to me is super, super cool and really indicative of the kind of community that I'm trying to build here, and one that's positive, where people are lifting each other up, all that good stuff. Putt King would like to invite you to my home course, Fernbank Golf Course in Cincinnati. Well, thank you very much, Putt King. I appreciate that. One of the most dangerous courses in the U.S. What makes it dangerous? If I'm in Cincinnati, I will definitely I will look you up and we'll make that happen. Hey, Tyneside, thanks for being here, guys. We are also wrapping up. We're going to hit one more putt. ETM, Love Golf just finished my first varsity season. Hey, congrats on making varsity. That's exciting. Boom. Originally, no, ETM. But I do live in the northeast part of the U.S. now. Boom. Many fairways crisscross. Oh, that's interesting. All right, guys. Thank you so much for all your support on the channel. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Keep working hard out there, and we will see you next time.